SIAM now joins us. Mr. Kirloskar, good morning. The last time when we spoke to you at the start of the month of June, you did say that there's quite a bit of pickup in car sales and CV sales. Has that upward trend continued?
I think it's still strong. It's not in the double digit strong, but it's in the single digit strong. I haven't seen the numbers on the two-wheelers and the light commercial vehicles as yet for the month of June, but I expect them to be flat. The heavy commercial vehicles, of course, are strong.
Okay.
But I'd like to say something about the industry itself, okay,
sure,
a little bit.
Ahead.
The last couple of years has been fairly tough for the industry, and I am very bullish on the industry because the industry has been able to respond to this very, very well. And when I say respond, I mean in the way it actually works. It works internally. The industry has become much more efficient, much more quality conscious, and getting closer to global standards at every level. If you see our export growth has been tremendous across all sectors, okay? And we are one of the larger automobile exporters now in the world, one of the top ones. And that is again because of competitiveness, high quality, good cost, and good delivery. And if you look at some of the other things that are happening, voluntary recalls. Voluntary recalls is something which shows that the industry is maturing. Even for the smallest issues, we are having good voluntary recalls. The response has been good, and the customer confidence in our industry has also been improving. I think these are some of the things which makes our industry mature. I think makes me bullish about the industry, that we are going forward on a very strong wicket.
Okay. Mr. Kirloskar, good to see you in today. One of the takeaways that we had, in fact, from the IndusInd Bank management when they came out with numbers is the MHCV segment is seeing a pickup as compared to earlier. What's your sense in terms of how the MHCV segment is doing at this time? Why is it seeing a pickup if that's the case, or why not? And is FY16 going to see MHCVs outperform the other sectors?
NH, you mean heavy vehicles? Is
yes,
that what you're saying?
Medium and heavy.
Yeah, the heavy vehicles have been doing well. They did very badly in the last couple of years. I mean, we're talking doing very well from very low numbers. We're still not up to real capacity utilization, big capacity utilization in this. But one thing that is indicative of this heavy commercial vehicle sales is that I think some of the infrastructure projects have started moving. I think it says good for the economy as a whole, that whatever work has started with this new government in trying to revive the economy and trying to get infrastructure projects going, it has started moving. And as we see these accelerate, you'll start seeing the heavy commercial vehicle industry also start accelerating much more. So I'm quite positive on this. Next year should be good.
Okay. So, what's going wrong with the motorcycle industry, Mr. Kirloskar? Because the only space where we are seeing good sales data is the aspirational consumption, the high-end bikes, the likes of Royal Enfields and all. But
yes,
otherwise, it's been quite flat.
I think the low-end bikes go across the country. It's not only urban, it's rural, it's all over the place. Perhaps the high-end bikes are more aspirational. They are more urban kind of sale areas. But the rural markets is something, we keep reading about different stories, and I'm not sure what is the real pinpoint for rural markets to remain flat. It could be the monsoon, it could be buying support price, it could be, there are various things out there. After the monsoon, I think we'll get a little clear idea how the crops have come out, what's happening to agricultural income, what's happening to the various subsidies like Manrega and those kind of schemes that are going on, how they will help the rural economy. The rural economy obviously seems to be a little not doing as well as expected, and that can be seen from these sales. Also, if you look at inflation is at such a low level. I believe even food inflation, all the inflation stuffs are coming down. So I assume rural income is also on a little bit of a stagnated level, and therefore the sales of these are under pressure.
Okay. So we've, lined up, or the industry has lined up quite a few launches within the passenger vehicle segment. For example, I was reading the Honda Jazz, the Hyundai Creta, the Maruti S-Cross. Even though the industry itself is anticipating sluggish sales, the launches are quite bullish this time. What's your sense in terms of whether the industry is actually anticipating a second half pickup, or maybe it has become very model specific, that for example, if I do have the money, I'm going to buy the one model which interests me the most, and hence there could be selective market share gain that we could see in FY16.
Let me talk a little bit on the car industry. You know, typically a life cycle of a vehicle is perhaps of a platform maybe 6, 7 years, 8 years, and halfway through we do some minor changes to it and you know, have a second launch in between. So every 4 years there's some kind of a new launch on a vehicle, and every 7, 8 years a major launch on the same kind of platform. So that's one story. It takes about 2, 3 years to plan, 4 years to plan a new vehicle launch. So once you set that in motion, it's going to happen. But that means you have to plan your investment cycle way ahead of time.
Okay.
One thing is for sure, the way the new launches are coming out is that the industry feels and the investors in the industry have a lot of confidence in the Indian market. Otherwise, there won't be so many new launches. And it certainly stimulates the market. Every time there are new launches, we see it's not only the new launch which does well, but other makers also do well, because it excites people into going into showrooms, seeing what all is there for offering. And this, along with a used car industry which has started picking up, I think this combination is certainly helping, making a you know, market more dynamic and good for the consumer. The consumer has a lot of choices now.
All right, Mr. Kirloskar, thanks a lot for your time today and talking to us. That's Vikram Kirloskar of SIAM. We'll take a break on that note, but up next we'll focus on the